Book of the month. I was waiting to film this. You can see I was just wearing a hat. Wow. Hi. I was waiting to film this when I was looking glam, but it may never happen. So for posterity, let's just get into reading review of February. Somehow it's already March. I don't know how, but oh, I gotta log in. Oh, I don't even know if this is working. Oh, is that the upside down? Let's see. Is this thing on? Want to see the books I've read so far this year? Yeah, not to brag. Anyway, February had 2 reading themes, in case you didn't know. Obviously, Valentine's Day, the look of love, the book of love. So I had a few of those. And then obviously it's Black History Month, so that was a good excuse to find amazing authors and stories about that. So let's get into it. The first book I read of the month was love themed. I think I have it here. And it was this bad boy, Happy All the Time. Loved it. 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, whatever ranking we're going with. This was such a delight to read after like really bad, not bad, but like heavy, like what did I read? The Book of Records, like timelines and just really confusing stories. This book was not confusing. And it was about people living and loving. It kind of read like a Neil Simon play, like it's a little retro-y. It's set in the 70s. The author passed away, sadly, but this was like originally published in the late 70s, I think. So kind of wholesome, Mad Men, old-timey like that. And yeah, if you like stories where not much happens, and by that I mean most of it is internal behavior and human thoughts and kind of relationships over time, boom, can't go wrong with this. This was a book of the month, which is kind of cute. Okay, moving on. What did I read next? I think I read next. Oh yeah, this was a good one. Let me see if I can find it here. Liquid. Ooh yeah. I loved this book. Wow. Yeah, I didn't really have any expectation for it. I think the synopsis was like, it didn't do it justice. It was something about like a girl with a dating app, or she writes like she's working on a PhD about marrying rich, or it just sounded like kind of a light, you know. I wanted to read love-themed Valentine's books, but also ones that were like a little bit not cartoon book covery and super dumb. So yeah, this was incredible. It was so smart, and yeah, I'm not gonna say much more. Just read it, please. Okay, after that I read 7 Days in June, which kind of straddled both themes perfectly. And on a scale of not spicy to spicy, this was like, okay, there were some scenes I was certainly turning red reading. But this was great. This book was pretty good. Interesting characters. They're both writers. Yeah, it wasn't like my all-time favorite, but it was good. I wasn't mad that I read it. Interesting. Yeah. This next book I read, Half-Blood Blues, wow, I love this. And then surprisingly, when I poked onto Goodreads, some people didn't love this book, and I don't understand why. But that was also a part of why I love choosing themes for reading months lately. Please ignore this hive. It's kind of cold out. Because I was talking to some friends or colleagues at work, and this one colleague was like, oh, you have to read Half-Blood Blues. It's the best. I think it's a Canadian author, and yeah, it was amazing. It made me think of things I've never thought of before, but it's these cool jazz musicians. They're in, I'm gonna mess this up, but like it's with like the rise of like the Reich, like Nazism, and I feel stupid for many reasons always, but I never really thought of any other races during that time. Like, obviously, the Jewish people, and it was horrible, but oh yeah, there's like different ethnicities that were also screwed. So this was a really interesting perspective on that, and kind of a double whammy because these musicians had left the South in the States to escape the kind of like Jim Crow awfulness and were making a life for themselves in Europe, and then this happened. And so it follows them to Paris, which, like, what more could you want? They're in France. They're working with Nat King Cole. It's fictional, but I mean, you know, really, really good. It's written kind of in dialect, which, again, like, I loved. It was like reading a movie, but some people on Goodreads said it didn't come together for them. I loved this book, so 10 out of 10. I think it's probably already on my short list for best books of the year. Okay, moving on, we had The Wilderness. This book was kind of hyped up and I was excited to read it. The cover is gorgeous. It follows like, I think 7 or 8 different women characters and their lives and their relationships. New York, LA. Sorry, I'm getting out of breath because this is my cardio. Yeah, I had high hopes for this book, and this is one that didn't come together for me. It was almost too many characters, and yeah, I would say my favorite part was kind of the ending where it got almost like a little apocalyptic, like they're on this bridge and there's tanks, and like it was interesting. But yeah, I really lost the plot in this one, and I wanted to love it, but I can't say I did. It's one of those books where it's like, am I still reading this? I'm still reading this, and I don't know what's happening. So yeah, this one I gotta give like a 3 out of 5. Sorry. But the cover is gorgeous. Okay, then I went full cartoon book cover romance, an academic affair. This was such a delight, such a surprise. I thought it would be so dumb, and it was sure not. It was great. The author is actually like, she actually has like a PhD in romance something. Like, she is the authority on this. So I loved it. Yeah, it was the like pretending to be a couple trope, but then they fall in love, maybe, I don't know, but very smart, very heady, like academic, funny environment, and very true from what I know about my friends that are in that world. And yeah, a little bit racy. I was like almost, I would say 3/4 into it, and was like, yeah, this doesn't even have any like graphic scenes, but then it does have like 1 or 2. But this was such a delight to read. I highly recommend it. And for its category, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because, wow, amazing. Then read Neighbors. This book was great. 5 out of 5. I love short fiction, and I was like, okay, tell me more. And wow, I am ashamed I didn't know about Diane Oliver. She passed away far too young. And these stories, I feel like this was published posthumously. She died in 1966 at the age of 22, leaving behind these crisp and often chilling tales that follow various characters as they navigate the day-to-day perils of Jim Crow America. Yeah, it wasn't a downer though. Like, it was like, you know, there were some sad tales, but so beautiful. I flew through this and loved it. Loved it. I'm blown away that the author was so young and had such a body of work, and then sadly passed away way too young. So highly recommend. This was such a win. Are you saying yes? Did I read? Yes, I did read all these books in this month. I think I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think I read 11 books. Some of them I like finished into March, so we won't talk about those. Anyway, off theme, unrelated, I read The Psychology of Money. Kind of interesting. I don't really read nonfiction, but sure, it was good. Okay, and then I read Theft. This book was good. This book was set in post-colonial Tanzania and Zanzibar. In the late 20th century, the story follows three young people, Kareem, Fauza, and Badar, navigating love, family, abandonment, and shifting societal roles. It explores intimate personal histories against a backdrop of post-imperial aftershocks. Yeah, it was really interesting. Like, I don't know about those parts of the world. It was vivid and just beautiful writing. So, yeah, it was a pleasure to read. I'm going to say, like, 4 out of 5, just because it wasn't, like, the most amazing thing. But, yeah, it was great. Go ahead. I have a few of his other books queued up, and I'm going to read more. But, yeah. And then another book that, of course, fits into Black History Month, anything by Toni Morrison, The Bluest Eye. Whew. Yeah, this was like not a fun read. Definitely not a fun read. I always wanted to read Toni Morrison. I feel like it's required reading because of Oprah. It was beautiful writing. It was very what felt like important writing. I liked the introduction by her explaining how the characters were almost exaggerated as a device. Yeah, really intense scenes and characters that stick with you. And yeah, it was not a light read, but an important read. And yeah, the subject matter, obviously trigger warnings, but it was good. I have a bunch of her other ones, but again, I have to kind of like mentally prepare to like go there. And I was traveling when I was finishing this and was like, whew, it was like heavy at night, but heavy intentionally and beautiful writing. So yeah, I guess, I don't know. I feel like I have to give it a 5 out of 5, but with a giant trigger warning. 10-Year Affair. Wow. Here's another one I thought was going to be just a light, trashy read, and it ended up being fabulous. Really creative story. Straddles the line between fantasy and real life. This woman's kind of having like, I guess, an emotional affair, but it's more just like an imaginary affair. And then the parallels kind of switch and overlap, and it doesn't end how you think it will, doesn't go how you think it will. And just really beautiful writing about, I think, women and time. And yeah, it covers COVID times and people spiraling out. And I really liked it. It was very good writing. So that one I'm definitely going to give a 5 out of 5. And I think that completes February's reading wrap up. If you're still here, wow, sorry, and thanks. What have I read so far in March? Chess Story, kind of interesting. Rejection by Tony Telemute. I'm going to say that wrong. Pretty great. I'm glad I stuck with this one. And now I'm into the CBC Canada Reads shortlist, because that's going to be in April. So I definitely want to read all those. And I'm very happy I'm doing that, because pretty much all of them are books I would not normally read. So far I read The Cure for Drowning and I loved it. And I was like, wow, I would never ever choose to read this book probably on my own. And because it's on the short list, I liked it. I'm now reading Foe, which is weird and crazy, and also a movie starring that guy and that girl. So I'm definitely going to watch the movie when I'm done. And then there's 3 more to go. So maybe I'll make a video about that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for reading if you read books, because books are awesome. I don't really know what's happening with the world. It's kind of scary, but I know that if I just stay in my house and read, that feels good. I don't know. Is AI just gonna write books? I don't know. But yeah, I love reading. Bye.